European Council President Donald Tusk said Britain could accept a, quote, Canada plus deal, much further reaching on trade, on international security and on foreign policy cooperation. Former UK Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson said this would be a superb way forward. Now, the comments come ahead of a critical EU summit starting on the 18th of October. Peter Dixon is Global Equities Economist at Commerzbank and joins us now to discuss. So, Canada plus, what does it mean and does it have legs?
Does it have legs, I think is the first question. My guess is no. I mean, Canada plus is basically a free trade agreement with a lot of extra things tacked on the end. A free trade agreement, I think it has been recognised by large elements of the British government and indeed by the European Commission or the EU 27 leaders, that a free trade agreement is not enough. It has to be not just plus, it has to be super plus. And frankly, that is not going to be sufficient to get across the line, because it excludes, the Canada Plus would have to include an awful lot more categories of goods than are currently included in the Canada Agreement anyway. It would need to take much more account of services. And to be honest, I think what we're hearing now is that the government and indeed the EU are talking about the UK remaining inside the customs union, which would kind of be, well, that would encompass Canada plus in a way which I think is much more beneficial to the UK economy.
So what would that mean for Theresa May? Because does that mean the Chequers plan is essentially dead?
Well, yes, but it won't be sold in that way. I mean, basically, this is, we're in the realms of the sleight of hand now, because basically what Theresa May has to do is say, look, Chequers was the plan and Chequers worked. When in fact it won't really. There will be elements of the Chequers plan which will be accepted, but there will be elements which clearly will be pushed to one side. But if the UK can do a deal to remain in the customs union for a limited period of time, that's how it will start. I think it will be lengthened. But if they can sell the idea of a limited, customs union membership, then a large element of what's in the Chequers plan becomes irrelevant anyway, because things like the Irish border doesn't become a problem. Large elements of the deal to tackle, the system to tackle the transfer of goods across borders also becomes less of a problem. So Theresa May will claim it as a win, but in reality it's a completely different plan.
So obviously the Irish border has been a sticking point, and the Irish Taoiseach said this week that the Brexit deal could be achieved within a fortnight. So does that mean that the border deal, the border issue could be getting closer to a resolution, and what would that look like?
Well, if we are talking about membership of the customs union, which seems to be the direction in which the wind is blowing, that takes away the border problem overnight. That is the solution, and it always has been. So you rather get the sense, given what the Taoiseach has said, that he is also of the opinion that this customs union membership is on the cards.
So are we getting closer to a deal?
It looks like it. Obviously the noises, they go up and down, volatility swings around, but I don't think it's in anybody's interest for there not to be a deal. Basically what has to happen now is that the UK goes to Brussels on the 18th and 19th of October and says, here's our plan. And if the EU accepts it, then we have scope to go forward in November, come up with a plan which will get us hopefully we'll get through Parliament first, but will hopefully get us through the March cliff edge date. So I would say that I'm a lot more optimistic now than I was a couple of weeks ago about the prospect of actually getting a deal through.
So whatever this deal looks like, say we get a deal in a few weeks' time, what do you think the market reaction is going to look like? I would imagine we'll see the pound move higher, but what will happen to the FTSE, say?
Well, I mean, hopefully the pound will move a bit higher, because obviously it has a large discount with Brexit factored in. You'll remove some of those obstacles. And
the uncertainty.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully we'll see the pound go up a bit. But obviously if that happens, then I think the converse effect will impact on the FTSE, because the FTSE has generally been supported over the course of the past couple of years by a weak pound. A stronger pound, depending of course on how far it goes, will probably act as a weight.
Now, I just wanted to switch focus and ask you about something else quickly, because we heard today that the Unilever shareholders have voted against a plan to have a single headquarters outside of London in the Netherlands. I'm wondering what you think of this vote and what it means for the CEO, Paul Polman.
Well, what it means, I think, first of all, for Unilever, or actually for the investors who basically forced Unilever to back down, is, I mean, they basically took the view that, we can't invest, or we'd have to change our FTSE holdings if you guys move to Holland. So I think there was a lot of shareholder pressure there to basically backtrack on the deal. But it does mean that the chairman's position is much less secure than it was. I mean, basically, this was his signal policy. This is how we're going to deal with Brexit, and now it's been pushed back. So I rather think that there could be a vacancy there sooner rather than later.
So you do think this is to do with Brexit?
Well, I mean, the company says it isn't, but I think ultimately we all know that it really is. It's about being able to service markets without the need to cross borders. All
right, Peter, thank you so much for your time. That was Peter Dixon, Global Equities Economist at Commerzbank. Thanks for watching IGTV. I'm Victoria Scholar, and we'll see you very soon.